Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Live Swap. My name is Ver, and I'm one of the co-hosters.
Hello, my name is Gabby, and it's always an honor to be here. Today isn't sunnier than yesterday, is it, Fer?
No, it isn't, and today we have a very special topic to talk about.
Recently, there has been controversy between two countries, Russia and Australia.
That's right, and that's why we decided to do something about it.
We flew in three representatives of each country to talk about their homes and the main differences between these two cultures.
We also decided to send one of the persons to each country to get a better perspective about the life and the culture.
Basically, we switched them, and now they have a more informed opinion.
And now we would like to introduce Yesenia, Andrea, and Ivan representing Russia.
And Stella, Alejandra, and Paulina representing Australia.
Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Please introduce yourselves and tell us why you accepted to come here today.
Здравствуйте! My name is Yesenia, but you can call me Jessie, and I decided to represent Russia today alongside Andrea and Van because I feel like everyone underestimates the importance of this amazing country, and I'm here to make it right.
Hello, I'm Andrea, and I decided to come here today because I feel the need to do some justice for my country. And I'm so glad I had to do it with Jessie and Ivan.
My name is Ivan, and I want to talk about my experience and all of the differences that I noticed living in a place so contrary to what I'm used to.
My name is Paulina. I'm here representing Australia and all of its cultural diversity.
I am Alejandra, you can call me Ale, and today my purpose is to show the world how breathtaking my country is. And today I'm not less convinced than before that my country is just spectacular.
Hi, I'm Stella, and I'm happy to share with you what I've learned living in Russia.
Perfect. Well, once again, welcome. Let's start with the show.
We thought it would be a great idea if we describe each of these places, one trait at a time, contrasting each other so that the public can get a better understanding.
I think that would be great.
Okay, let's start with Russia.
Okay, Russia is larger than any country in the worldwide area, covering more than 1/8 of the Earth's inhabitated land area.
You're right. Russia is twice as big as Australia with 17,098,242 kilometers square.
Oh, but Australia has some of the oldest surface on Earth.
The Australian government isn't as divided as Russian government.
Yeah, but the unemployment rate in Russia is 0.3%, being smaller than Australia that has 5.4%.
The population in Australia is as big as in Russia, making this a less polluted place and a better living environment.
Well, that's very interesting.
Yeah, I feel a lot smarter than I was before.
Please continue.
I did some research, and I discovered that Australia has 8 times more the rape rate than Russia.
Well, Russia has 18% more crime levels than Australia.
One good thing about Russia is that its extensive mineral and natural resources make it one of the leading producers of oil and natural gas in the world.
People from Australia is way more happy than Russian citizens, and that's something I've noticed while being there.
Russia has one of the largest trade pool in the world, which has now become famous.
Australia doesn't have as many borders as Russia, which has 14 in total.
Russian is one of the 5 most spoken languages in the world.
Australia is the driest continent on the earth. Despite that, it has a big diversity of animals.
Well, this is fascinating. I want to know more about this subject.
Me too. But what about the animals?
Australia is one of the most diverse countries in the world. It's well known for its kangaroos, their platypuses, their wallabies, and their koalas.
Russia is home to many interesting animals. Among these is the Amur tiger, which is nearly 4 feet tall at the shoulders, taller even than the Bengal tiger.
It counts with more than 800 bird species, and in Russia they have been counted up to 732 species.
But Russia's most famous animal species is the Siberian tiger, the largest cat in the world. Indigenous to the forest of eastern Russia, these endangered giants can be 10 feet long, not including the tail, and weigh more than 600 pounds.
There are about 400 fish species in Russia, but in Australia there are more than 4,000.
That might be true, but the fish caught in Australia are not better than fish caught in Russia.
As extensive as Russia is, it's not surprised that it is home to a great number of ecosystems and species.
Can any of you tell me about polycats? I've heard of them, but I don't know what they are.
Polecat is an animal similar to ferrets or weasels. They are about 20 inches long, and generally people have them in their houses as a pet.
Australia has the highest number of venomous snakes in the continent, 21 of the world's 25 deadliest, in fact.
Really? That's dangerous.
It is, but people learn to take warnings.
Australia also has the largest number of reptiles of the world.
How impressive!
Australian mammals number is about 4% bigger than in Russia. Actually, there are 266 mammal species in Russia versus the 276 species in Australia.
That's a huge difference, but now can we talk about the weather?
Of course, Gabi. Russia has the coldest city in the world, which is Oymyakon, that reaches minus 60 degrees Celsius in winter. Overall, climate in Russia is very harsh. The coldest winter is in eastern Siberia.
Of course, Australia's weather is warmer than Russia's. It can range from below zero temperatures in the snowy mountains to intolerable heat in the northwest.
The entire Russian Far East is one of the most biologically rich temperature zones in the world, even if that is hard to believe.
And what about the cuisine?
Well, soups play the most important role in the Russian cuisine.
In Australia, one of the most common food that foreigners discover is vegemite, a dark brown paste made from various vegetables, just extract and spice additives.
One meal that Russians eat a lot, it's called sweet and sour cabbage. Just as the name describes, it is sweet and sour. The apple in applesauce balances out the sourness of the red wine and complements the crunch of the cabbage.
One famous dish is the Solyanka soup, but it isn't as Russian as everybody thinks. This dish was originally from Georgia, but it can now be found all over Russia. It's more heavy than home-like, made from pig chunks and beef or pork.
One of the most common foods you'll find in an Australian pub is the chicken parmigiana, which is basically a chicken schnitzel. It's topped with the tastiest tomato sauce and melted cheese on top.
But if you really want to experience some proper Aussie bush tucker, then a witchy wrap is the way to go. This tastes a little like chicken and contains just as much as protein as an entire piece of steak.
Kangaroo is also common meat to be found on supermarket shops and restaurant menus. Kangaroo is lean red meat. It's healthier than you might think, and you can prepare it many ways: steaks, burgers, sausage, and much more.
I'm enjoying this a lot. I've learned so many interesting things.
Me too, but I don't think I'm smarter than you.
Of course you are. You're one of the most brilliant people I've ever met.
Aw, thank you, Gabby. But it means a lot. Well, anyways, let's now talk about the plants, shall we?
Yes, we shall. Who wants to go first?
Vegetation in Russia is not as predictable as many others. The vegetation includes temperate grassland, coniferous forest, and tundra.
The plants in Australia are more adapted to dry conditions than in Russia.
The Russian landscape varies from desert to frozen coast, tall mountains to giant marshes. Most of Russia is made up of treeless plains called steppes. Siberia, which occupies 3/4 of Russia, is dominated by sprawling pine forests called taigas.
The most common vegetation in Australia is the hammock grasslands.
Now, we're gonna talk about the experience and how the visitors felt with the people that they met, the customs they learned, and the shift in the general personalities of the people.
That sounds like an excellent idea.
The Russian salary isn't higher than Australia's.
A study after a study has shown that Australia is among the most open-minded nations on earth.
Contrary to popular belief, Russia doesn't rank the highest in alcohol consumption per capita.
Australia has become to be one of the most prosperous nations on earth.
Lifestyle in Russia isn't more expensive than in Australia.
Australia isn't more religious than Russia. In fact, they were one of the first nations to tax churches.
Russia has the deepest lake in the world.
Russia is one of the least tolerant nations in the world towards gay people, and I admit that something unpleasant me about my country.
Australia is the biggest nation in the world that is only surrounded by water.
Russian students don't have more vacation for the holidays than Australian students.
I think Australia is the perfect place for an international student. It's a country who has the most freedom of all. Each time the school has finished, graduates set off to the Gold Coast for a week-long holiday known as schoolies, a tradition since the 70s.
Russians' traditions are older than Australia's.
Australia is the biggest commercial energy user.
Russia has the most nukes, second only to the US.
The percentage of children out of elementary school in Australia isn't higher than in Russia. In fact, I think Australia is one of the most attractive places for aspiring actors.
Russia isn't more popular than Australia.
But Australians are not better at football than Russians.
Okay, this is our conclusion. Thanks to everybody who came to the show. It's a pleasure to have you.
We couldn't be more pleased that you decided to come.
Bye.
Bye.